Bolomir! We back with another episode. Season 3, episode 8. I finally got it right, motherfucker. I got it right. We on season 8.
Motherfucker, man. It's fine.
It felt right for the moment.
It is what it is.
Yeah. People, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I see the followers are great.
Yeah, this is the really
bell
icon.
Yeah, but it doesn't bother. Just okay. Beer review. All right, dog. What are we drinking?
I'm gonna go for middle scent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this. What's this? This is. This is that whole garden, man.
Whole garden, yeah.
How would you pronounce this?
I feel like it's Afrikaans, man. Because of the way it's spelled, it's a whole in front. Fuck, I shouldn't have said that. but if you look at Afrikaans spelling,
Garden.
yeah, Garden. Or maybe it's from Amsterdam, because Afrikaans is from.
Let's see.
It's a derivative. It's late at night, bro. Where is it from?
Proper stinker.
So while you add it, rather just open it up, bro.
Not really. But I have no issues with that at all. See the wood with my beard.
It's a weird color, no? It's very light. Almost looks like piss. But you said you're gonna. Okay, just still because I'm drinking here. Just yeah.
Just a bit.
Oh, man. I hope it's not that stony shit from last week, bro.
I told you what happened. I honestly told you what happened. Though. It was just, you know what I mean?
It smells disgusting, bro.
Smell.
Yes. I told you this.
Not good.
Joe.
Not good. I would say not good at all.
This is a crop beer, right?
I'd assume so.
Looking at the bottle, looking at the color,
at the bottle,
the texture.
looking at the price that I paid for.
How much was it?
I think this was the most expensive one, so I think I paid 35-40 bucks.
For this dumpy?
And that's just the case, because obviously I bought this thing like a few weeks back.
Yeah.
It's quite expensive. It was very pricey though. There was like a section that had like very pricey beers.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, let me go for this one. I think this was the lowest of the most expensive.
Really? Shit. And it says here it's wheat beer brewed with coriander and orange peel. What the fuck? No wonder, man. Wit beer. You see, I told you about the color, bro. I told you it's wit beer. So white beer. I'm guessing. Alcohol level 4.9. Okay, so dog, how would you rate it for taste? It's quite pathetic on my side. I wouldn't drink it again for sure. It almost tastes like...
Definitely for sure. Like honestly, 1. I'd give it a 1 because I'm not coming back. I don't think I'll ever come back. Like, no offense to it. Maybe there are people that actually like drinking it.
Yeah.
But on my side, nah. But I think if I was a group drinking this, like, you know, like when you guys... people that drink tequila, every sip I take, it should be like that all the time. I was like, it's just not landing for me.
But then I differ with you, right? So like if you had like a bar, right? Because I remember I once went to Cape Town, right? And I went to those Lani bars, right? And they didn't have the regular stuff that I drink. It was like a craft beer house brewery type thing. It's on Long Street.
So Long Street, man.
I'm from Long Street is alive, dog.
First time I went to Long Street, boy, I had a bottle break, and then I just heard someone inhaling something.
Yes. It's like Moonga.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes.
I'm like, hi. I was like, nope, I ain't going
This is not for me.
No, I'm like, I was definitely out though, but story for another time. Yeah, you're saying?
Yeah, so I tried this other beer. I can't remember what it was. And the first few sips, or the first dumpy, right, I was like fringing and doing all that stuff, right? But after the second one, like I literally forgot about the taste. Because you get to that point when you're drinking beer where you just...
Yeah, but generally it's an acquired taste, I mean...
Yeah, for sure, especially when it comes to craft beer. It's definitely an acquired taste.
But still nice.
Yeah. That slap.
That's pretty nice, you know.
Yeah, that slap.
But wait for my endorsement, you know what I'm saying?
But it was extra pricey. And it was extra pricey, that beer.
Yeah.
That beer is
But
expensive.
bang,
Yeah.
Straight to that problem, but hey, it's a story for another time.
Yeah. But you're too old for brown. But
I've been into Brown since, but that's a story for another time also.
Yeah. Fair. So, taste, I would give it a 3. It kind of tastes like, remember the Cape Town Blonde?
Must actually keep a list of the beers we've had.
Yeah.
Like I remember the Cape Town Blonde, now that you've mentioned it.
Yeah.
And it actually had a blonde.
Yeah, the blonde chick with the,
Yeah, I remember that stuff. Yeah, it was fresh.
Yeah, so it almost tastes like that. This one a bit more.
No. I think Cape Town Blonde is much nicer than this.
Taste it like this, bro. But anyway, I give it a 2. Packaging, I think it's quite dope. It's very Eurocentric. It looks like a beer from Holland or the UK.
Yeah, I wouldn't lie, because obviously I can't really see the beers, well, the front of the beers, because obviously I'm behind it. But like, it just stood out of what we have right now on display. I mean, granted, because most of them are brown.
Yeah.
But I mean, even
all of them are brown. They
all
can't
of them,
really
we have
green
black,
bottle.
and then we have that.
Okay, fade.
I think that's a striped horse.
Both of them are.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No problem. And also, the shape of the bottle is also pretty dope, you know what I'm saying? If you look here, like it's not really just a straight, it's got a curvature going on and stuff.
Yeah.
At the bottom, it's got some hips and stuff going on.
But even though that you're the same guy that gives piece of shit for saying the very same thing, just that he said it differently.
No, he was talking about, it was that beer, the one
It
that
was the
had
Cape Town
packaging.
Blonde.
Nah, it wasn't the Cape
It
Town.
was the Cape Town Blonde, and then he was like, which one is this? He said,
But I've grown, dude. Like, I'm not the. This is today's press.
Fade. Okay, yeah, it's cool.
This is in terms of
The packaging.
in terms of packaging. I'd actually give it an 8 for brown powder. Like, it looks really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same here. Actually, 9. I'd give it a 9.
no problem. I feel the shape. You know what I'm saying? Worked hard.
Social connotation.
Social connotation. I'd give it a 7. I think it's something that it would catch your eye, because first of all, cool, brown bottle, but it's a sexy brown bottle.
Yeah.
You know? People would actually ask like, yo man, what are you having? I think only after they drink it, they'll stop asking questions like, nah
Yeah.
man, never speak to you again. So I'd give it a 7. Social connotation. What did you give it?
I hear what you're saying, right? So for me, I'd say this. If I'm with white people, then I'd give it an 8.
Yeah, they are very critical of what they do.
Yeah. And then if I'm with our brothers, I don't think I need to go on, but yeah. Yeah, it would be obviously significantly lower.
Alright, cool. Nah, no problem, man. But anyways,
But otherwise, it's a crap nice beer. I think that's a nice beer.
I think the outside's better than the inside.
Yeah.
If you have to put in most.
Like most women. Anyway, let's talk about football,
Bro,
bro.
I really like when you make a noise, bro. Anyway, like, okay, cool. Like, it's probably give me ears, though.
Away.
I wish I could yell, though, but it's.
You know you can, though.
But
You just play.
when you have those jobs going in front of a laptop the entire time, but it kind of records like nothing's required to come out of your mouth, man. Like, you just become somber, though. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Mr. Business Analyst. Let me ask you this thing. Let's talk about
Data
football.
analyst. That time this guy's known me for a good 2 decades, though.
Yeah, but that's what I said. I said
He said
data.
business. This man is still looking at the cash flow from 2017.
No, but wait. When it comes to job descriptions, right? A business analyst is the same as what did you say?
Data
A data analyst, right? Same difference,
I
right?
actually once thought that, but it's really not the case. But that's a story for another time, also.
Is it? Oh, okay. I guess you learn something new every day.
9%.
So please help me understand this, right? Can we talk about football now?
Let's talk football.
Let's talk football.
Uh-huh.
Help me understand this, right? Saudi Arabia. I don't like what's going on, but I can understand this. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out, right?
From one brother to another.
You feel me?
I understand, but I honestly understand it. I have.
So, I heard this other TikToker. His name is Big Steve, right?
Big Steve,
Big Steve-O.
Big Steve.
From the UK, right? He gave an excellent analogy, right?
Sure.
So his whole analogy is between Man City and United. So if these two clubs were people and they were neighbors,
sure.
United were the team that had money, that had the nice car, had the pool, had the jacuzzi, had the nice wife, had the nice paid job.
Sure.
Man City, on the other hand, was the broke guy who was probably a plumber, could only afford to buy one outfit a week, change it every single day, probably had to catch cab to work, didn't have any cash flow until the money came in. And then when that came in, now he's the one with the nice car, he's the one with the nice house, and then just as a nice little cherry on top, he steals the wife from next door and gets a treble of his own, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
So the point is, money is a big equalizer, right?
100%.
So having said that, I understand why and how it's happening with Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
They've got the money, so now they're trying to bring the limelight to their league, right? But here's where I'm not understanding how they're pulling it off, right?
Sure.
My thing is, Saudi Arabia is only the third biggest oil reserves in the world. Number one being the US and number two being Venezuela, right?
Sure.
But obviously with the US, all of their oil is sold in the US. And then when you go to Venezuela, you can't really extract the oil, so it's more expensive, it's more time consuming, so Saudi Arabia becomes the central point for oil.
Yeah.
So fair, I get that. They make all their money from oil. 42% of their money comes from oil.
Sure.
That's GDP.
Correct.
They only have a population of about 35 million people.
Sure.
Fair, right? The average age, or it's skewed towards the youth. So I think over 45% of the people are under the age of 24, right? Outside of that, they're building three major products, or projects rather, excuse me.
Yeah.
The first one being the line. I don't know if you know about the line, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, so the line is 170 kilometer development. It's about 500 meters high in the air, where everything will be within that line. So it's two lines, 170 kilometers long, 500 meters high, and everything is there, like parks, recreational, residential, business parks.
This is very creative the way you do things.
It's very creative. It's very creative.
But anyways,
Yeah. And
project.
And in the other one, it's building a big harbor that will then supply the whole Middle East.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And in the third one, I can't remember, it's some ice skiing resort where it will fucking operate throughout the year. They'll host Olympic Games, they'll host Winter Games and all of that, right?
So in essence, Saudi's trying to UAE basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my thing is, right, how are they managing this from a cost perspective? Because they're doing all those three projects, they're buying all of these players, and mind you, this is only the first step of their plan. And in this first step, the sheikh, whatever, he says he wants he wants a minimum of 20 players that are like elite, playing in the elite. That's stage one.
Yeah.
And I think he's achieving that already. I think he's sitting on like 12 or 13 of A-class players that have moved to the Saudi League, including Cristiano Ronaldo. So how are they financing that? And on top of that, they're buying all of these big clubs. I mean, they just spent how many millions buying fucking Newcastle. So how are they financing all of this? Your hand is up.
Cool. I'm gonna take a stab at this now. Just general knowledge.
Yeah.
So we are well aware that Saudi is very oil dependent, and they're trying to just diversify their portfolio basically.
Yeah.
So they are operating like a business, like any country does. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about your financial statements, assets versus liabilities.
Fair.
Hence, they bought Newcastle United as an investment. So even that, okay, cool. It's not bringing much to a country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as a business, let's look at it as an investment holding firm.
Yeah.
Newcastle was an investment, and like you said, they're buying all these clubs in let's say countries that actually are football loving countries, so like a Newcastle, I mean, you wouldn't sell a Premier League team, you know what I'm saying? Like the revenue generated from they are just insane, you know, just from broadcast, commercial, and what else is there? Sponsorships, basically. So it's that, and then also there is the pull factor. I mean, it's like what Neymar did for the French league. You know, Mbappe was, I mean, let's be honest, Mbappe he's not a crowd puller, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's not.
He's not a crowd puller.
Because he doesn't please us as football.
He doesn't please us.
He's a pace merchant,
Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like what PSG did with Neymar, though, like it brought eyes to the game. Same thing with Messi, brought eyes. Messi, Inter Miami.
But he pleases us. He's not a pace merchant.
Exactly. Now I hear you. So now it started with Cristiano Ronaldo. As much as Cristiano Ronaldo's brand was fading, you know, you side eyeing like how there's a Saudi Pro League, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool, this is happening. And then you start picking up the old guys, your Benzemas, your Kantes, guys nearing the end of their careers. I mean, cool. They have a large following on social media. I mean, Benzema, let me say Benzema and Ronaldo. So people will maybe take a peek to see what's happening and stuff. And also on the development side of things, having these guys within your league will improve your game. Like the conversation we had off game, when I was talking about, okay, cool, if so and so comes to your neighborhood, Messi comes to your neighborhood, you're gonna up your game, you know?
Yeah.
Your game is going to improve. So I think they're gonna do that. I don't think it's gonna succeed though. I mean, I think it's just like the Chinese Super League, that little bubble.
Oh yes, I remember when they were trying to buy Abraham.
Exactly, when they try to do that, I don't think it's sustainable because of the type of players that they actually buy. Like there's no pool, especially when their government is financing the top 4 teams, if I'm not mistaken.
That's my thing.
So
where are you getting this expenditure?
They're financing the top 4 teams, so I don't understand like what the actual end goal is. I don't think it'll work also, because I'm just like, cool, these guys are gonna come and fill up the top 4. So now you have a traditional top 4. You're gonna win the league, compete, whatever. But ain't nobody trying to tune into the Saudi Pro League.
And there's no Champions League. That's what they're forgetting.
And there's no Champions League on top of that.
Or maybe do you think they're eyeing to get their teams into the Super League? I mean, maybe have like 4 or 5 pots.
I mean, but look, I mean, we questioned them when they did the whole live tournament thing to compete against the PGA Tour. And I mean, that turned out to be a success. I think PGA and Live are now in a partnership, if not one acquired the other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think
golf and football are 2 different animals.
Very much 2 different things, and like I think culture always, culture is always at the top of everything.
Problem number 1: you can't drink beer in the stadium. I mean, sorry, bro, where am I supposed to get my buzz from?
I mean, look, they broke the rules for Ronaldo and bringing his girlfriend that he's not married to. I mean, clearly.
Yeah,
if you wake up in the morning and you decide, you know what, it's whatever, Puzan, it is what it is. But I don't think alcohol is an issue also. I mean, you know, it's not like when you tune in, you want to see who's drinking in the stands.
No. I'm just speaking like if I want to, like for example, right, on my bucket list, I have to go to a City game.
Yeah.
At the Etihad, I have to go to Anfield when they're playing us.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just one of those bucket list things, and I know that when I'm there, I need to be in a certain mood, I need to be in a certain frame of mind. But when I go to Saudi Arabia, first of all, it's hot as fuck. I'll be sweating and I can't have a cold beer. Yeah. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2, half of the players I don't even know them. I can't even pronounce their names. And the ones that I do know, I mean, they're running around with arthritis on the field there. I mean, what am I supposed to enjoy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're saying, your short answer is it's not sustainable long term.
It's not sustainable long term. But I may change my mind once I do my research.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, faded. What else do you want to talk about, dog? I want to talk about transfers. I don't know about you, but you can talk about something else if you want. Because I've got a burning issue, burning my tongue, Joe.
Cool. I mean,
burning my fucking tongue.
So transfers because I have a lot to actually, talk about regarding your team.
My tongue is burning.
My team also. Maybe Chelsea. But yeah. Alright, let's see what's happening.
Where's Dalen Apollos, bruh? That nigga needs to come back here. Remember what he said when he was here?
Can't really say.
He said Wilfred Zaha is one of the best players in the EPL. Where is that nigga going to play next season, bro?
You need to get a Saturday.
Fuck, bro. That's such a waste,
I think
bro.
that was the shock. I think that's the shock move of the season.
Oh, that's a waste.
Shock move of the season.
That's a waste, bro. That's a
transfer
waste.
window. That's a bigger shock.
Bro, like, he was better off even staying at Palace, and they were offering him like 300 or 400k a week. Stay at Palace, bro, or go to West Ham, or go to Arsenal, or go to Tottenham.
Because when I heard like, okay, his contract situation, like, I mean, the time is now. I mean, my man's been trying to push for an Arsenal move, and then for all the potential, because everyone was just talking about like, yo, man.
And plus, was free, right?
I'm not sure.
His contract was finished.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So for me, it was also a thing of like, okay, cool. Like everyone's just like, okay, cool. Hey, I wonder. He's completed football in Palace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like he's done everything. He's clear. I mean, he saved the boys every now and then, and all of that has happened. So that's like, okay, now we're waiting for his big move to see what he can do against his Ghana, so his peers and stuff. Like he needs to play Champions League football.
Yeah.
Like Zaha lived without playing Champions League football. Like,
that's my thing, bro.
No,
that's my thing. But I think what he did, right? He took the easy way out, and I only say that because I think he's.
But Galatasaray is in the Champions League.
But we know that they're not going to get to the knockout stages, and even if they do, they'll get knocked out at the round of 16. So really, you just stay for the appearance. That's one thing, right?
Damn, Turkish league.
Turkish league, bro. And then my thing is, I think he took the easy way out. He ran away, mainly because I think he's suffering from trauma. Because remember, he's from United. He couldn't hack it.
I mean, look.
So I think that wound was still well.
I mean, you shouldn't be suffering from any trauma because I don't think Man United know how to manage players. I mean, Di Maria's walked through their doors, fresh off the Champions League win. Sanchez has walked through their doors, fresh off of carrying Arsenal in that season. Paul Pogba, the prodigal son returns. Maybe was a beast at Juventus.
Yeah. And now he's back to being a beast.
Jadon Sancho, who was a beast at Borussia Dortmund.
No, but you can't put him in that bracket because he's not tried and tested.
No, but check. I mean, but look at the drop off from the Sancho that we know, the potential that he had, still has. I mean, still pretty up to what he is now. Like, this is a man that was hitting nutmegs, boy, like cooking with Holland, dog. Now my boy, like,
he's a shadow of himself.
He's a shadow of himself, dog. Like, he looks low on confidence, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I honestly feel like they're not able to manage players. I mean, look at Harry Maguire's stock from it was Hull City, man.
Yeah.
From Hull City, the Maguire I know from Hull City, the Maguire I know from Leicester City. And then he lands at Man United. And now he's become this joke of a man, dog. I'm just like,
why call him a joke of a man? Wow, kid.
Like,
how you sick with it?
Like,
how you sick with
it? He has such bad luck with it. Like, you could shoot, dog. You could have a long range shot and hit the post. Somehow it'll find Maguire, dog, and ricochet back into the goals, dog. Like, that's how bad his luck is right now, dog. You know? And I really hope, but like, you go back to default settings and be the Maguire that I know, because I still rate it. But it's fine. That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
So, even though Maguire, look sure, okay, cool, fine. But like,
but he's still class, though. He's still class.
Southampton Luke Shaw was our fucking beast, dog.
Yeah, but it's very easy to perform when you're not expected to perform at the highest
level. No, but even when he came into Van Gaal's team, he was hardcore. He just had that broken leg, dog. And I think he just got...
Yeah, but dog, even after he came back with the broken leg, I think he's a beast, dog. Like, I'd be happy to sign him.
So I don't think he should suffer any trauma from, Man United, dog. And it can't be trauma because he's been performing at a high level in Palace for so long.
Yeah, but Palace isn't really in the caliber of United. So if he went to, let's say, Chelsea and performed, then I'd say, okay, my statement is null and void.
But
going to a lesser team, it's like Lukaku. Shit at Chelsea, goes to Everton, superstar. Goes back to Chelsea, shit.
West Brom also.
Yeah. But I think he was the hottest in the EPL when he played for Everton. He was banging the men, man. He was banging week after week, even banging a couple against City. Week after week, the consistency was there.
And I hear that, Chad, man. I just like, yeah, obviously, like maybe you're a good player for this level, but you can't.
Exactly.
But that also comes down to systems, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if you're a good counter-attacking player and then you go and join a team like City, you know, and they have the ball most of the time. Like, take for example, like Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy is brilliant for Leicester because they're the counter-attacking team, you know what I'm saying? So if you put a Vardy in a Man City squad, now it's a thing of, hey, we always have the ball, though. And even when you make that run, it may not give it to you. Like with Barcelona, take for example, they don't really use Usman Dembele's space in terms of breaking the lines and stuff.
Yeah.
So there is that element also for you too. So, but I think Zaha would have done well at Arsenal because we play so well. We do a lot of wing play. You know, our attacks go through Saga and Martinelli. You know, we just creating those 1v1 situations. But yeah, man, it was a weird move though. I couldn't believe it. I think he's just.
I don't think Arsenal had the budget though. Or the flexibility of a budget.
I mean, we dropped 100 more for.
Yeah, but that was a poor. Well, I don't think Declan Rice is worth 100 million. But he's British, so I understand there's the British tax.
I understand the British tax.
Yeah, I understand that. I think a more reasonable evaluation of Mr. Decky.
Evaluation.
That's what I said.
Evaluation.
That's what I said. Okay. It's neither here nor there. It would be around, this is me being generous, 70-75 million, right? But I think Zaha, you'd have been better placed at a team like Tottenham. Tottenham is cooking, dog. Tottenham is cooking.
How are they cooking?
Jamesy's there now.
Who?
Jamesy.
Who?
Jamesy Madison.
Oh, James Madison. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
He signed for them. And then...
But now, how can you really say they're cooking? Because James Madison's a 10. But for the way that Kane plays, Kane is a striker and he always drops into that playmaking role, that number 10 position. So essentially, Madison's going to have to switch his style of play and change into maybe an 8.
No.
8 or...
No, you won't need to. You won't need
into
to.
a twin cam position.
No, you won't need to.
Also, if Kane, your shining light, is dropping into that 10 position. That's how Kane's always played.
Fair enough, but Kane is on his way out.
We can't guarantee that. I mean...
Yeah, we can't guarantee it, but looking at the speculation, looking at the man's body language, looking at the man's chats online, it seems like he's done and dusted. And finally, it seems like Levy is finally willing to listen to some offers.
He'll probably sell, because I believe Levy's a businessman. But, I mean, I've seen a similar situation where, like, with Borussia Dortmund, I think it was around the time when Klopp was still there, and with Levy and Lewandowski had 1 year left of his contract, and he wanted to leave, but Dortmund went and ran the risk of, you know what, stay one more season, maybe we can win the Champions League, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out, and then obviously you lost Lewandowski for free, and then he went to Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So there is that, but now I think, yeah, okay, you're actually right. Now definitely Southampton, it's like, it's not like Kane staying for the boys to go for a Champions League run or go for the league.
I mean, there's nothing left on the table for
Literally,
you.
he'll be staying for vibes, you know.
No, he'll be staying for the Alan Shearer record. That's the only incentive he has.
But who wants to? Imagine having
cement their name in the history books.
But now imagine having all these records.
But he's like literally in touching distance of that. He's like number 2 or 3.
But the first thing your kids ask you is like, yo, Dad, where
what did you win? Fair enough, but
like now the top goal scorer. So it's like, okay, so Dad, so you scored all these goals and won nothing. Yeah, let's not have the conversation.
Ha!